Yes? What is it?
Oh, yeah, he's...
Technology!
Yeah, he's dead. Well done. Just that point blank, and he started to do a killing execute shot, I think, maybe.
Of course!
It's an interesting character. I think I'd rather have the explosive shot than the device to make them panic, but...
And what now? Oink oink, little piggies!
Oink oink. Use that. See, you can use them multiple times. Oh, and you're on auto attack now.
Yeah. Who's next? Yeah. What is it? Yes, yes. I'm with you. Too much for you, was I?
Whee!
Creature. Ha ha! Kill. And again. Taste my hammer. What is it?
Oh, what are you doing to this little guy?
Who's next?
Just picking on him.
All right then.
Stun and poison, that ought to kill him.
Don't take it personally. What's up? All right then. Yeah, why not?
And you doing alright still? Yeah, generally. Bunch of these little shits. They have like no health, so it's just, AP. Oh, we did it.
What the hell were those things?
Goimgar carefully pokes one of the dead little creatures with his sword, as if he fears it'll jump up and attack him.
Have you never defended your past, Simmerbeard? Those are bögnilim. Small, ugly, stinking, cowardly. Sound like anyone you know?
Goimgar looks angrily at Boindil and is going to reply, but Namora speaks first.
They are like little orcs. They are even more primitive and make up for their physical weakness through their sheer numbers. They live in caves all around here.
While the others talk about bögnilim, you examine a decorated ox skull that the orcs had with them. It wasn't made by them, and somehow looks valuable. You pocket it.
Level 8! Okay, so now, I'm thinking leader's well. Cause that'd be fucking sweet, but you don't have a way to like really quickly kill a lot of people, so it's not like I can use it to really quickly get a shitload of AP all at once, because this costs AP, so it's just like, you'd have to kill 3 enemies over this, fuck it, leader's will. Nice. And Bavragor, right, this is the first chance I've had to look at your skills. Earthquake. Enemies in a straight line in front of Bavragor get stunned. Enemies, not everybody. And Bavragor ignites the brew from his water skin and can set fire to enemies in a half circle in front of him. Not sure what fire does. I assume it does damage over time, 750 over time, or 750 immediately with some lasting burning effect, not sure. And eventually, Bavragor drinks his brew and heals himself immensely. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna have to go for Earthquake. Stuns are really nice. Because then you could stun, then cleave. Cleave would be the, then doing double damage. So. And Golden Ring. What about the Axe Head? Yeah, damn right. It's not worth fucking anything. God damn it, Tungdil. I reckon I can sell this stuff because this has value of 0. Value 0, like it seems like if it's somewhat important in some way, shape, or form, I can't sell it for anything. So, I think. Yeah, okay. But we will check out this place up there, because this is where the orcs were. So, I don't know, there might be something going on up here. I'm not really sure. Sort of trying to force exploration into this game.
You are walking past an inconspicuous copse as Namora suddenly stops on the spot.
Wait! We are not alone. Someone is watching us.
A trap?
Damn, there is something.
Die, scum!
What are you doing? Why are you attacking us? We're dwarves too. We're on the same side.
I see honest dwarves here, but they are accompanied by scum. I will free you of it.
Oh, really? And what are you going to do on your own against 8?
You, come here.
What?
Brother, what are you doing?
Boindle, what's wrong? Come to your senses.
It's no use. They belong to me. Now die, scum.
I see. So we do not have Boindle. Boindle, check that off. We don't have you. We don't have... Who else do we not have? I don't remember. Generally okay with who we've got, except I think I'm going to take you off. Grab you, because Sting. Oh, okay, he's taken 2. Fine. Wait. Oh, I can't change... Okay. I can't change it all, because... Right, okay. That makes it easier. I was going to grab you and give you the Talisman of Attack for plus 40% damage, and then go for a Sting, and just really rip people apart, but it's alright. We need something for you. Shadow Step Merciless. Quick attacks. Quick attacks. Fast cooldown. So we'll go for that, I suppose. Or, well, it doesn't look like it does very much damage, so we'll give it the boost. Because 10 attacks, 250 damage, that's 2250. Plus 40%. Quite good. And then... yeah, I'll give you that for your poison dart, actually. And then you can have that. I don't know. Okay. Well, overpower the mysterious female dwarf. Obviously just kill her, basically, right? I mean, Shadow Step.
Yes?
Shadow Step,
Well.
Leap. Fergus.
Why not?
Fall back. Down to here. W. Can't quite hit her with W yet.
I'm on my way.
So move. Still can't. Try it anyway.
What? I'm on it.
You're stunned, I think. Buff yourself.
Yes, so.
There we go. Q.
Yes, soon.
End it.
Just a minute.
Even I'm not that quick.
Knocked her off the edge.
Markus.
Oops.
Better this
Sorry. You okay? We did it, guys. Okay, good. Knocked her off right into an earthquake. That fucked her up.
No sooner does the unknown dwarf fall unconscious to the floor than her control over your comrades disappears. You fetter and gag her until you know more about her sinister powers.
That was, I hope I didn't hurt you, Scholar.
It was as if in a dream, but at the same time, it wasn't. I heard her voice in my head, and although I knew better, I only saw orcs attacking me. You were the enemy.
Boindle goes over to the shackled dwarf and kicks her gently with his boot.
This is never a child of the smith, even if she looks like one. Those gifts. By Fracas, there is something evil at work.
You kneel in front of the dwarf and press your axe against her throat.
My name is Tungdil. If I remove your gag, will you answer some questions?
The captive nods, and you pull the gag out of her mouth.
Giralda is my name. It would seem I underestimated you.
She is immensely pale, like an elf. I don't know. I don't know.
Your powers, I've never heard of anything like it.
Neither have I. I haven't had them for long. When I try to remember, all I see is black mist, and I taste iron and mud, and there's an elf who...
Did the Alpha give you these powers?
When I try to remember, it hurts. Like needles sticking into my head. I am Giralda Bloodstone. I was...
You said something about scum when you attacked us. Has Namora done anything to harm you?
Not her, but her kind. Alpha.
She is a human. She only acts at being an elf in theatre.
In the theatre?
For the first time, Giralda looks at Namora without a hateful expression.
She must die.
Where have you come from and what brings you to Wayen?
I was on my way to the Free Folk. They are said to live in the middle of Girdlegard, without kingdoms or their laws.
The Free Folk? You mean dwarves?
Yes, dwarfs who have left their kingdoms, voluntarily or otherwise. Not everyone has a place in their kingdom.
You instinctively think of your own plight. You are not a secondling, and won't be welcome among the fourthlings since you placed obstacles in their king's path.
Don't believe this nonsense, scholar. The Free Folk are just a fairy tale that people tell themselves when they don't want to stick to the traditions. Just look what good it's done Giralda.
Giralda prepares to reply, but then she holds back.
Enough talk! She is dangerous, probably crazy. She attacked us, we should put an end to her.
It's what you call amnesia, memory loss, a tool often used in stage productions. We don't know what happened to her, and maybe she doesn't either. We can't just kill her.
Take her with, holy shit, yeah, fuck yeah.
She's too dangerous just to
Another
let go,
ranged character.
So, well, we'll take her with us. Remove the fetters.
You nip any objection in the bud and turn to Giralda.
Listen, I don't know what has happened to you, but we are dwarves and we shouldn't fight against one another. We could do with your help.
The female dwarf seems just as surprised by your decision as your companions.
Thank you. I would be happy to accompany you. I am Giralda Bloodstone, of the Fourthling Kingdom. I'm sorry that I attacked you. It was a misunderstanding.
You realize that your decision doesn't please everyone. Boindil and Namora seem particularly upset. But they hold back, and you continue on your way, a slightly gloomy mood hanging over the group.
Oh shit. Okay, so I take back what I said about exploration being weak in this game. I take it all back. Because this is a totally optional route that I didn't have to go, I'm pretty sure. Because there's even an alternate route around, so this is all just completely optional. I just kind of bumped into this and I got a person out of it. A level 10 person. A level 10 ranged person, I'm pretty sure. And Boindil hit level 8, nice. Give you... Whirlwind revolves around himself while he moves. He deals damage to all enemies in his path. Or Bloody Scissors. Boindil decapitates enemies with less than 50% health. Deals lots of damage to those with more than 50. Fucking hell. Don't hit me with that. But yeah. That's just like AP generation. Sweet. Okay, so we're consuming a whole 9 food per day, which is pretty disgusting. But look at all the people we've got now. This is great. Don't have many abilities. You're passive. If an enemy deals damage to her, she forces her will onto them. Only one enemy at a time. Okay. That'll be tricky to play with. Giralda shoots several crossbow bolts at enemies nearby in quick succession. So this is basically like a cleave. Yeah, I'm assuming not the same enemy. Shadow Stab disappears and reappears next to an enemy, dealing a stab to him. Okay. 3 hits, 3 bolts at a target in quick succession, causes lots of damage. Okay, so you're just ranged DPS. I love it. I'll take it. You're kind of the same deal. I think I want Burning Dart over Shrill, but Shrill does good crowd control. We'll take out to the knee and give you Burning Dart. So we have 2 ranged people. We'll need a big burly melee, that is you, to help them out, and then obviously me. Right, and I've got damage boost. I think I'll go for Leader's Will over damage boost. Keeping Leap and Blacksmith's Blow, obviously. Do I want you? No. No, I don't, but for now I don't have any choice. Alright.
Your path leads you to a small fishing village on the banks of Lake Ontario. The villagers are busy and don't pay you much attention, apart from a fisherman on a boat who nods at you before returning to his nets. You can just about make out a jetty on the other side of the lake.
Excuse me, my name is Tungdil. Can you ferry us across to the other side?
The fisherman looks across the lake to the jetty on the other side before turning back to you.
Oh, you're polite. I like that. Samuel is my name. I'll ferry you across for 10 provisions or 20 gold, whichever you prefer.
10 rations, just 1 movement point.
You give the provisions to Samuel, and after a long discussion with the dwarves, you follow him onto the boat. No one says a word during the whole trip, and Boindil drops to his knees in relief when you reach the other bank.
We could have died. I hope it was worthwhile, Scholar.
Boindil doesn't like the water. I mean, I want to head up here and check that out. So really, I think I just wasted 10 food, but oh well. Cause shit, I got a reason to explore now.
The group isn't overly friendly towards Giralda, and this evening she's sitting once again apart from the others. You ask yourself what you can do to break the ice when you see that she has a phial in her hand. The phial is wrapped around with silver wire and has a snap lock. The liquid in it is black. Giralda opens the lid and takes a big swig. As she puts down the bottle, a smile flits across her face, followed by a short expression of deep satisfaction. It is the first time that you have seen a positive emotion on the face of the somber dwarf.
Is that medicine?
No, it's... I don't know either. If I don't drink it, I have a longing for it. It gets stronger and stronger until I can't stand it anymore. When I drink it, the longing disappears, and I feel rested and strong.
And when the phial's empty?
I don't know. I don't know where I got the drink from, let alone what it is. But if I don't drink it, Rackers, give me strength. I think I would go crazy or die.
Giralda plays with the phial, lost in her thoughts, as if she were trying to remember where she saw it for the first time. The size of the fields and the farmsteads grow as you get closer to Varennes, the old border city in the north. The old city wall is much too small for the size of today's settlement. Everywhere little cottages, and even the odd magnificent estate, extend beyond the wall.
Varennes. This city is home to the Grand Archive. There are countless works from all over Girdlegard here. I wonder whether we'll be allowed to go in.
You try to gain access to the city, but the guards on the wall are unyielding. The orc armies in the south and the movement of the Perish land has prompted the city council to lock Varennes up. You try not to show your disappointment, but Boindil looks at you curiously.
Is a house full of dusty books really that important, Scholar? That's no place for a dwarf.
There are also books by dwarves and about dwarves in that archive. They've practically got everything that has ever been written. They've even got notes on the races of Girdlegard, singularities and oddities, by M.A. Het.
Oh my.
About dwarves? That really can't be any good at all.
You leave the impressive city of Varennes behind you and continue on your way.
Maybe later. It's like, yeah, we're taking a lot of food doing the diversions and all that,
As
but
on
food...
the previous evening, Bavragor sits apart from the others. But tonight, he waves you over.
Smeralda, my sister. You want to know what happened, right?
You nod and sit down.
She followed Boindle into battle. We tried to talk her out of it, but she was as unyielding as a mountain. Then came the day when the High Pass was attacked.
Bavragor drinks from his liquor.
He killed her. Blinded by the frenzy of battle, he thought she was one of the enemy. I can never forgive him. He killed my sister. Could you?
You inevitably remember the loss of Lotyonen, Frala, and her children. You remain sitting in silence, each of you deep in thought. Boendal approaches, having either heard you or guessing what you were talking about.
His fierce life forge is a curse. He thought the orcs had robbed him of his love, and the ire came over him. Sometimes he calls her name in his dreams. Oh, he'd never admit it, but he suffers just like Bavragor. He too loved her.
The stonemason doesn't react, so you and Boendal go back to the others by the fire.
Right, but food doesn't do anything unless we're injured, so I don't mind spending it now.
The familiar jetty is empty, but you can see Samuel on his boat, halfway between here and Polbrook, and you call him over.
So, we meet again. You want to get across to the other side, I presume? I'll ferry you across for 10 provisions or 20 gold.
That didn't really mean to call you over, I'm
Not
sorry.
at the moment, thank you.
Well, no skin off my nose. If you change your mind, you know where to find me.
That nasally voice, though, sounds so familiar. So familiar, no idea where.
A two-story tavern sits on the corner of a crossroads. The snow around the building has been cleared away, and a warm light is coming from inside. The sign above the door reads, Minstrel Castle.
Minstrel Castle? That sounds promising.
The old building has nothing in common with a castle. It seems rather nondescript. A simple tavern for simple people.
My kind of tavern.
Finally! Time for ale! My throat is completely parched.
As much as I hate agreeing with you, I too can hardly wait.
You enter the tavern with Bavragor and Boindale in front. On first impression, the interior is as inconspicuous as the outside. But when you take a closer look, you spot a couple of paintings of minstrels in front of a castle, a small stage that, judging by the dust, is only very rarely used, and a lute hanging on the wall behind the bar. There are not very many guests on the ground floor, perhaps a dozen, and most of them belong to a group of mercenaries who have retreated into the far corner. You sit at a table, and after a while you are brought the ale that Boindale has ordered.
Clouds.
You go to the bar where the landlady is working and sit on a stool. The landlady, a stout, middle-aged woman with long hair tied in a ponytail, looks up briefly but says nothing.
Wonder if I can have our actor friend hop onto the stage. Talisman of Steady Battle increases the damage of auto attacks by 100. Oh. Reduce it by 80%. Fucking hell. Auto attacks aren't that strong, so doubling it, it's still pretty useful. It's a good one to give to people who I don't know what else to give them. So, maybe. Maybe. Saw that loot. There. It's not worth 0 like this is, so I guess it's not important. And if it is, then, well, damn. Play all the food. Sure, why not? May as well. I think I'm gonna pick it up. It's a lot of gold. And it's not like a greater talisman if that exists, so it might be worth saving all my money in case something like that does exist. But that's a really good thing to give to people who I don't really know what else to give to them. Right.
Say, why is the tavern called Minstrel Castle? It doesn't look much like a castle.
Oh, you don't know the legend, dwarf.
One of the guests next to you at the bar takes up your question.
There was a castle here once. No one knows its name anymore, so everyone just calls it Minstrel Castle. Once upon a time, a king lived in that castle. He had many subjects and an enchanting queen. But one day a young minstrel came along and sang of wonderful far-off lands, and the subjects began to complain about their own lives. So the king sent for the singer to hear for himself. He came and sang a wonderful love song, and the king began to be scared. He thought that the minstrel wanted to steal away his queen. Without flinching, he drew his sword and struck the boy down. His father heard of this. He was himself a singer, and so he went to the king and played a terrible song, a curse. The king was to vanish in silence, and no one was to remember his name.
And that's what happened. No one remembers the name of the king or his castle. Make of it what you will. The story's certainly well known enough in the area to give R in its name.
You nod at the landlady as you slip off the bar stool, and she nods back. Bavragor and Boindil, who are absorbed in a drinking competition, have to be practically dragged out of the tavern. But in the end, you are able to continue your journey.
Ah, that wasn't there before. Orc camp? Oh god. Alright. I didn't notice that happening. Because we got event, and I'd like to check those out. But this is where the merchant was, and this path wasn't accessible. I think maybe now it is.
From far off, you can already see the orc camp, blocking the path to the firstlings. You move away from the path and observe the camp from a nearby cliff. You see strong fortifications and hundreds of orcs.
Finally! Now that's what I call a challenge. Let's go!
Frontal attacks may have worked in the past, but this here is more like capturing a stronghold. It requires a large military force or a good strategy. Both would be best. We should search for another way.
I could go and take a look and perhaps improve our chances for an attack.
You remember how the actor had transformed himself into Lot Yonin and Nudin in Mephodania. You certainly wouldn't bet against him being able to walk through the orc camp unnoticed.
I'll come with you. If I stay in the shadows, they won't see me.
The actor nods gratefully.
I'll come too. I also know how to keep myself hidden.
Nomura wants to object, but you are quicker.
Thank you, Giralda. 2 more eyes and ears would be helpful on such a mission.
Sure, why not?
Listen, try to sabotage their defenses, and if you can safely take out a couple of guards, then do it. But don't take any big risks. Come back here if things get too hairy.
Nomura and Rodario rejoin you without any particular urgency. The infiltration was a complete success. No one detected the two of them.
What about Geralda? Yeah, okay, she made it too. So, hold on, journal. I haven't read the journal in a while. Old side quest finally cleared out. Quest finished. The path to the mountains is blocked by a large orc camp. Need good tactics, powerful allies, or in the best case, both to vanquish this camp. Or find a different way. But. Let's do it.
The guards are much more alert now since the infiltration of the orc camp. You have delivered a serious blow to your enemy, and an attack should now be significantly easier.
Fuck yeah.
You enter the orc camp with your companions. You have a long way ahead of you.
Yes! More experience.